Hi everyone, if you know you need to show up more for your business, but you're struggling to show up because you're super nervous, you're super anxious, you're like, oh my gosh, what if my content isn't good enough? What are people going to think? Is anyone going to care? Then this video is for you because I have totally been there and I know for a fact that basically everyone has been there before, right? We've all suffered with imposter syndrome. We've all suffered with that, like, what if it's not good enough feeling? And we have probably at some points let it hold us back. But today I want to share some things that have helped me overcome these things after creating I've created over 150 blog posts. I've written tons of Instagram captions. I'm on video right now. I created a membership. I've created like courses. So after doing all of that, I've learned a few things about how to combat that fear because to be honest with you, that fear isn't going to go away. And these things are going to pop up over and over again, and so I think that's so important to know what to do when they do pop up over and over again, and how to even like overcome it in the first place if you're still in that space of like, okay, how do I even start showing up? How do I get the courage to start showing up? How do I like do these things, right? So there are 3 things that I want to focus on today, so let's get into it. So the first thing is mindset. Mindset basically sets the tone for everything, right? It sets the tone for like how we act, how we show up. If we are doubting ourselves, then we're going to show up with like that fear and doubt, and other people are going to pick up on it, right? So what are some things that you can do? You can work on the way you think about yourself, the way you think about business, the way you think about marketing, right? So if you're always telling yourself that selling is hard, guess what? Selling is hard because you're constantly telling yourself that. So it's like a feedback loop, right? And so your brain is like, oh, I have to prove that selling is hard, and then you make it even harder on yourself, or you're like, oh, showing up on video is hard, so you're making it like even harder on yourself. But the truth is that you just have to do these things, right? You just have to put yourself out there. But first, maybe you can like work on reframing these things about how you see selling and how you see marketing and how you see your customers and how you see like product creation and all of these things, right? So once you change the way you see these things, then it'll start to become easier, and you'll start to make it easier on yourself because you're like, oh, actually, it's not that hard. I can do these things. And once you start to see that you can do these things, that's how your confidence starts to grow and build. Okay, so the second thing is having a plan in place. So say for example, you're going into a launch, right? And so in scenario number 1, you're going to this launch, you don't really know what you're doing, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna wing it and figure it out, and I'm going to wake up every day and like just figure out what I'm gonna post during that day, and you feel like you're constantly in a rush because say for example you wake up at 9 a.m. and you're like, okay, I have to get my first post out before like noon, and then you're scrambling in the morning, you're like, okay, this content has to be really good, and you finally get your post out and you're like, okay, what else do I have to do? So you're constantly like running all over the place trying to piece together your launch as you go along, right? But imagine scenario 2 where you're like, okay, I have my launch plan in place. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know exactly what pain points to address. I know exactly what objections to address. I know what my ideal customers are struggling with. This is how my product will help them, etc. And so you're going to feel like more confident, right? And the more confident you feel, the more likely you're going to show up because you're like, actually, I do know what I'm doing. And this fear isn't going to go away, but doesn't mean that like I'm not good at what I'm doing. I am good at what I do. uh, Brain fart. But I am good at what I do, and then so your confidence ends up like building more and more, right? And then the third thing is like just taking action and being willing to make mistakes because that's how we learn, right? We can't learn just by planning and just by plotting and by dreaming. We actually have to take action and show up and do it over and over and over again. So if your first video isn't good, create 50 more videos. If your first launch isn't good, figure out why your first launch didn't do so well and then do better the next time, and then launch again and again and again. And something that has helped me, because I used to have a super lack mentality, is realizing that each launch doesn't have to be your last launch, so you don't have to put like so much pressure on your launch, because how often do we put so much pressure on our launch and we're like, this has to be the best launch ever, or I am a total failure, right? But it doesn't have to be that serious. Like, you will have future launches, you will have future chances to, you know, do better. And it doesn't mean that this current launch isn't going to be amazing. It just means that, you know, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself to have the best launch ever, because you're going to learn from something from each launch, and each launch is going to get better over time and over time. And that's how it goes with everything, right? Everything is going to get better over time, but you won't ever have a good Instagram post if you're not willing to put out your first Instagram post. That's probably going to suck. If you're not willing to create like 20 more Instagram posts after that, if you're not willing to create 20 more videos after that, or whatever it is, right? And so if you know that you want to start showing up more, you know that you want to get better at marketing, you're like, how do I even create a launch plan? Or how do I even create content? Or I know how to create content, but I feel like I'm always creating content. Then I think my membership is perfect for you. My membership is called Keep Getting Paid. And inside the membership, we have your Keep Getting Paid roadmap, which teaches you how to do how to like have a good mindset, how to know your ideal clients, everything about them, how to do your branding. So branding is all about how people perceive you, right? How to build your product suite. So knowing what to create and sell in your business, and attraction, marketing, and sales, of course, super important. And then also productivity. So how do you make sure that everything gets done? How do you set the tone for the day, and all of these things? And in addition to that, you also get monthly masterclasses. So we have a monthly masterclass all about launch strategy, all about what to do before, during, and after a launch. Not only is it education, but I also give you the tools and resources to make it so much easier for you. Honestly, like, it's just amazing. And then I also have a masterclass on content and how to repurpose your content so that you're not constantly coming up with new ideas, right? And so you have time to do other things in your business, because I know as business owners, we have a lot of things on our plate. And so we have like masterclasses on content, on sales, on email marketing, freebies. We're going to have more masterclasses in the future in 2021, so I'm super excited about that. In addition, we also have like a co-working session where you can come and work with other people inside the membership. We have a monthly group coaching call, so if you have any questions, we also have a Slack channel, so if you ever have any questions, you can ask me in there. I'm like, what else do we have? We have so many things. And then we also have a behind the scenes where I share the behind the scenes of my business, and then you can also ask me questions on the call where I can answer of like, oh, this is what we're doing in my business, this is how we're handling team, this is how we're handling operations, this is how we're doing our next launch, all of those things. So you get to see what my business looks like behind the scenes. Honestly, you get a lot inside the membership. I really created this membership because I saw a lot of business owners struggling, and also I've struggled with like these things myself, and I really created this because I saw a problem in the industry and I wanted to create a solution for the problems that I saw in the industry. So if you feel like, oh, this is really good and I want to join, then go to my link in bio. And if you have any questions about the membership, feel free to DM me. One other great thing about the membership, I already mentioned this, but along with questions, if you ever just need encouragement, like I got you, fear, doubt, imposter syndrome, the not good enough feeling, the, oh, what if people don't like my content, or, you know, if you've ever chased like other people's goals or ideas of success, I have been through all of that. So if you ever need any encouragement, all you have to do is ping me in the Slack channel and I am there to help you out. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions about the membership, feel free to DM me and I will talk to you in the next video.